I, like the rest of the world, all 20 million of them, have been playing a lot of Palworld. It's a lot of fun, it's a great survival crafting RPG sort of thing. That reminds me more of 7 Days to Die than it does any sort of Pokemon game. That being said, it's a fantastic game with a lot of promise, but it is clearly an early access game. Now I hope it's not like 7 Days to Die where it stays in early access for its entire life cycle and then everyone just sort of forgets about the game. To prevent this, I have some ideas for them that they can add relatively quickly, relatively fast to make the game more engaging to retain their player audience. Now this is not in any particular order, there's not really any speciality around it, it's just things that I noticed throughout my playthrough that I desperately wanted. First and foremost, I really wanted some more hotkey optimization, hotkey buttons, and customization. I want to be able to select my specific equipment through the numbers on my keyboard or any other key. I have a giant keyboard of lots of keys. I want to press them. I don't want to scroll on my mouse and pray that my next item is the correct item that I want. I'm not playing Doom from many years ago, but even Doom had numbered options for selecting weapons. Next, I'd love a mini-map. Mini-map is desperately needed in this game. There are so many times when I know where I am, I know where I want to go, but in between, swapping between the map button and where I am exactly, it all sort of get lost in confusion. You end up having to overly rely on the compass, and even then you still get lost plenty of the time. I would love a scan for points of interest. There's a Pokemon, a pal, that can scan for ore in the area, and it's one of the early pals you can get. But that's it. I want to be able to scan for the poker statues, the pal statues that give you more pal capture points and rating and stuff like that. It'd be great if I didn't have to look up on the internet where all these statues are. I could just walk into the world, press a scan button, and they'll just sort of pop up on my mini map, which I don't have, or on the map itself. Both would be great. I would also love PAL commands for all PALs. With some PALs you can press down your F key and hold it down. That's on PC, I'm not sure what it is on console, probably like the X key or something. And then you can start using that Pokemon as either a mount or a gun or an extra little buddy that hangs on your shoulder that shoots when you do your shooting as well. All of these are great, but I would like to have actual PAL commands. For example, if I'm using a water type Pokemon that has electric attack and I want that Pokemon to use its electric attack, I can't command it to use its electric attack on the water type Pokemon that it's versing. I instead have to let it randomly decide what it's going to do. It might do Ice Beam, might do Water Gun, and then finally do Lightning Bolt at the very end when I wanted it to open with Lightning Bolt and then keep using Lightning Bolt on the water Pokemon. Now, we're all huge fans of Pokemon Arceus, and this is very similar to Pokemon Arceus, except for Pokemon Arceus, you can still choose what attack your Pokemon does. It'd be great. It'd be fantastic. It wouldn't be an excessive thing to add. All you have to do is hold down bumper and then press one of the face buttons for your free skills. That would be it. And on PC, you could just have it be free special buttons. That's like GHJ for using the first skill, the second skill, and the third skill. It's not hard, and it'd be great, and it'll really add a lot more complexity to the fights instead of just you throw your pal out and you hope your pal deals with the enemy, or you just blast the enemy in the face with a musket. All of which is great. Next, I would absolutely love some more base optimization, such as a hopper, or just better chest management at the start of the game. For the first 30 levels of the game, that's exaggeration, it's more like 15, you're stuck to using basic chests, which have 6 to 7 slots, which is absolutely useless because you end up forgetting where you put a specific thing in each of the chests and end up doubling up that thing into several different chests. Next, I would also love chest customization. Let me put a little heart shape on it to know that these are loved items. Let me put a gun shape on one of the boxes, know that this is weapons. Let me put a bullet to make it know it's ammo. Put a recipe symbol to make it know that it's got recipes in it, Anything to differentiate the chests so they don't all look the same, so that I can walk up and go, okay, this needs to go here, this needs to go there, this needs to go here. A hopper would be great. Just chuck all my stuff in the hopper and it just goes into all my chests. This is something that's in every single Satisfactory, Factorio, Minecraft game. Any game in general has customization for this sort of base building, so you can instantly know where to put the correct stuff at a glance, rather than having to remember, alright, this chest is for this chest is for this chest is for this, and then, you know, someone comes along who doesn't know what all the chest does, and just mix matches anyway. What's really great is in Palworld, it doesn't matter what item is in what chest, it will all get used by the base pool, so you don't have to go through every single chest to find an item, put it in your inventory, and then make your item. That's fantastic, I love it, but it can be better. Next, we need to talk about Pal AI in the base. If there is any stairs, Pals can't use them. There's some stairs that Pals happen to use better than others, but once the Pal gets beyond a certain size, they lose intelligence equal to their size and they start completely screwing up. It's not the end of the world, but it means we can't make houses in the game that are functional. They can only be houses that are pretty. And pretty houses are pretty good, but they're not great. We want versatility in our base building to allow our Pal AI to walk through our houses up and down stairs and not for some reason get stuck at the bottom of the cliff and go, I don't know how to get up, I'm hungry, I'm hurt, save me. Come on, pal, get out of the gutter, buddy, you can do it, climb up them stairs. Lastly, I really think this is vital. We need a quest system in the game. In a default Pokemon game, like Pokemon Red and Blue, you have these gyms that are clearly set defined goals. And in between these gyms, there is an event to get to the next gym. For example, going from Pallet Town to Brock, his first gym, you have to go through Vermilion Forest. It's a little bit of a challenge, it's a little bit of a contained dungeon, and it gets you to a new area. This would be absolutely fantastic. Now, I know this doesn't really work with the Rust aesthetic, where you can start at any random point on the map, but I'm sure it can be done to get to these special areas that you design in the game that have a little bit of a difficulty ceiling, so you don't sort of walk out of your base, walk 2 feet and run into several hundred level 40 Pokemon and go, oh gee, I must have took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. I should have went right. You know, we need some sort of structure to this RPG that makes it more apathetic to new players and seasoned players, to make them go, alright, yep, this is where I have to go to get to these sort of Pokemon, this is where I have to go to get to these sort of Pokemon, instead of it just being all randomly muddled, jumbled, and all deadly. This also speaks to the wild damage scaling that's in this game. If you don't know, Palworld is a level-based game, and based upon your level is if you do damage to that pal or not. So if a pal is within 10 levels, you're probably doing fine. If a pal is beyond 10 levels, you're going to be having a bad time. You're probably doing 1 to 2 damage on every single hit, regardless of what weapon you use. If you're lucky, you might get 18 damage. So what would be nice is to have a more clear and defined damage scaling. For example, in most RPG systems, there is the attack and the defense. And if your attack does more than the defense, you do damage. If the attack does less than the defense, you don't do damage. It would just be nice to have like a proper attack defense system in the game, instead of it just being based upon level scaling. So whenever I play this game, I go up to a Pokemon, I go, yeah, that Pokemon is 10 levels below me, I don't have to worry about it doing any damage to me, it's lackluster. If I see a Pokemon 10 levels above me, I know I can't do anything to it because it's too powerful. However, in an old Pokemon game, that's not always the case, because if you use type advantage and various other things, you can overcome these level deficits. That being said, usually you're rarely under-leveled in Pokemon. Usually you're at level or you're above the level of the various Pokemon you're fighting, because it's a traditional RPG where you go in a straight line for all the corridors until you get to the end of the game and beat the boss. Of course, this gets worsened when some Pokemon have skills that attack instantly, that trap you, that slow you, that stun you, that just do buttloads of damage for absolutely no reason, they're the real problem. Especially when it comes to flying Pokemon, when 3 or 4 of them come around you and they all do the same like triple attack air move and you just get obliterated. Lastly, what Palworld needs to survive in 2024 is PvP. As much fun as it is to beat up the wildlife, the innocent pals around the universe, I want to fight my friend. I want to pull out my sheep with a machine gun and blast that sheep into their faces. Alright, that's enough of this. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.